Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the EDF Sports Podcast. We are back again today, going into Week 8 of the NFL. We are here with Liam, and once again, he's muted, but he's here. We are going to talk Week 8 football, guys. Also, as you can see behind him, there's the World Series, which I forget to even mention, but the World Series is going on, and the thing that boils in my blood, the NBA is back and the ball is bouncing, and it has been a crazy start to the season. So maybe we'll get to a few of that too. But let's start off with right now. The NFL trade deadline is, I believe, 1 week away. It's November 2nd, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And so far we've seen a couple of trades, but it's a little different, the NBA trade deadline as opposed to the NFL. When the NBA, it's an event, because there's going to be players moving here. The NFL, it hasn't been. So what do you think about this trade deadline?
I think we could see some last-minute exciting moves. I've heard a few names tossed around. Obviously, everyone's kind of watching, see if DeShawn Watson's being moved. But besides that whole case, I've heard a few others. So a few kicked around. We'll see how that rolls. I've heard Hayden Hurst tossed around.
Yeah.
Marlon Mack.
Running back, right?
And I think Brandon Cooks, maybe. I think I've heard tossed around.
Yeah, and unbelievably, a couple of Denver defensive backs, which is so strange to me because you go and you take the number, 9 pick on a great beat, and then you're going to get rid of another one on the other side. It just doesn't make no sense to me. But so hopefully that doesn't happen. But you see anybody of significance? How about you, Liam? You see anybody of significance that's going to help anything, do anything?
Yeah, so I like those names listed. If I'm the Ravens, and I know that I picked up 3 running backs off the street already, but they're providing you nothing. I'm looking at Marlon Mack, honestly, because Marlon Mack can contribute right away, especially as like a power running back, which the Ravens kind of need. And Brandon Cooks also makes sense to me. Today he was very vocally unhappy on Twitter after the Texans traded Mark Ingram back to the Saints, and hey, I'm happy for Mark Ingram. Gets to go back to the Saints, recreate that 1-2 punch with Kamara and Sean Payton, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm looking at Allen Robinson, a name that's floated around at all times of every tradable period. Is he going to be traded at the draft? Is he going to be traded in the offseason? Is he going to be traded before the deadline? Year after year after year. Because all he's known is Jacksonville Jaguars and Chicago Bears. Poor guy. The dude is so talented. Just get him a quarterback. And,
where do you see him going?
For all the Odell to the Packers talk, and the Bears would never do this, but the Packers need to be looking at Allen Robinson, and of course they need to be looking at Odell too. But if I'm the honestly, if I'm the Ravens too, I'm looking at Allen Robinson because they need a possession receiver because Lamar's never going to be just a thread the needle pinpoint accurate.
That would be kind of nice right there, though.
He's going to need to throw the ball in a range most of the time, and there's not a lot of better ranges of receivers than Allen Robinson. You could think Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins. But Allen Robinson, if it's in his vicinity, he's probably going to come up with it. So that's the kind of guy that, Lamar Jackson needs proven and established if he wants to make a real run to the Super Bowl, because I don't see Bateman coming on like that. So that's what I got. And it'll be interesting to see. Honestly, I want my Eagles to make some more moves. They traded Flacco to the Jets for a conditional pick, which is basically we got Gardner Minshew for free, so that's kind of cool.
I've heard they're getting rid of one of your favorite players, I'm sure.
Who would that be?
Mr. Barnett.
I wouldn't be too upset. We'll see what we can get for him. Honestly, I love Fletcher Cox so much, and I want him to retire an Eagle. But if you can still net a first-round pick for him, and I don't think you can, but if you
he's a high play though, yeah.
I would take that deal, and somehow if you could end up with 4 first-round picks this year, fly Eagles fly. Howie Roseman can't mess up all 4 picks.
Hey, don't say can't. Don't say can't.
Never say that.
One hit.
Okay, but let's pretend that you're the GM right now of the Eagles. What are you trying to do right now? Are you trying to do anything right now?
I'm trying to see if Miami's truly bidding against themselves, and if this Stephen Ross report is correct that he wants to know what the legal situation is going to be if he trades for Watson. Well, you're not going to know that by Tuesday. So if the Texans, or DeShawn's legal team or whatever, like if DeShawn wants out that bad, I think he would waive his no trade clause for really any team if it came down to the last minute and the Dolphins aren't budging. So if I'm the Eagles, and it pains me to say this because I don't want it to happen, and I love DeShawn as a player. I think, Paul, that before all this, stuff came out.
Yeah.
If I'm the Eagles general manager, I'm doing it. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm not. Well, I am an Eagles fan. I'm not very happy about it.
So you said any team, but there was one that it came out, my beloved Broncos, who I thought were in the mix for this. And it turns out he said he would not waive his clause to go to the Broncos. So
he said he would waive it to go to the Panthers, and then
do
they
you
backed
think that
out
that's
today.
just talk, though? Is that just talk? Because like Liam said, when it comes down to it, if let's say that's the Broncos are offering you the most.
Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't see him moving unless he goes to Miami. And if he's in Miami, I'm hoping my beloved Panthers go after Tua. But that's, far-fetched.
You're not happy with Sam?
He needs protection. I don't think any quarterback is going to be successful in Carolina without protection.
How's that go? He needs new security.
Yep. I mean, there's too much shifting. I mean, they haven't had a single game with the same exact offensive line through this whole season. And that's a problem. I mean, you can't play a game without someone to protect your quarterback.
Isn't that what they like to do though, too? Start off in the season looking really like giving you fans hope, and then all of a sudden they just kind of go.
Except for in 2015, yeah.
I was just about to say that.
So, I mean, we're going to just say it's going to go by and there's nothing going to be really big happening for the trade and all that, except for DeShawn. By the way, so we've narrowed it down. You said you think he's just going to Miami. Liam, if he does leave, where do you really see him heading now?
Well, if he does get traded, I think he goes to Miami, but I don't think anyone is like, I don't know. I at this point, I'm not sure if he gets traded. Like I'm going to say he doesn't. We'll talk if we have our podcast next Wednesday. Obviously, we'll know by then. But I'm saying no, I don't think he does. I think Miami at this point might be bidding against themselves if they're the only team that DeShawn has approved that is in the hunt. And if the Stephen Ross report is true, like I said, he's not going to know the legal situation by next Tuesday.
Right.
So I really think that there's a 75% chance that he's a Texan through the season.
100% agree. I mean, I don't see him moving at all. I mean, they want too much for him too. Like they wanted from the Panthers 3 first-round picks and 2 stud corners. Makes no sense. He's a player, but he's got too much baggage.
Yeah, 22 bags. Okay, if let's go. Let's stay with the quarterbacks though. Let's go to Kansas City though. What's going on with Mahomes, guys? I mean, you could say there was a bad games and he had a couple, but then now every one of those spectacular where he's falling down and he throws the ball 18 yards down the field and the receiver catches it and goes for another 20. Those are gone. Like you're not seeing those anymore, What's going on in Kansas City?
I think you have a lifespan. Like as a running quarterback, you can only live so far in the NFL because you're going to take enough hits that it's eventually going to take its toll. And I think that he's starting to see that. I mean, it's happened to the best of them. It's happened to Cam Newton, Michael Vick, all of them. They have a lifespan. They don't last as long as a pocket passing protected quarterback, and it's finally going to take its toll. He's going to start taking the hits, and he's going to be out for a while.
Is that due to their protection as well? Does he need new security as well? Because
but he also holds on to the ball too long. I saw some stat of where he holds on the ball almost a second longer than Tom Brady does, and it shows.
Right, Liam, what's wrong with him? How you doing, Lamar?
Doing pretty good. You?
So Lamar,
nice to see you, man. We talking Mahomes right now.
So
Go ahead, Liam.
So this Chiefs team, right? So this is Mahomes' 4th year starting. So let's think about it. This Chiefs team is very reminiscent of the 2018 Chiefs, the first year Patrick Mahomes started, where their defense was terrible. But that's Mahomes' first year starting. No one knew he was this wonder kid until he started playing. So there weren't a lot of expectations back then. And, Mahomes has always had these, flashy throws. And a lot of times, in this first couple of seasons, they weren't getting picked and now they're getting picked. That's besides the point. I think that's kind of just like the crux of where their offense is found. But this Chiefs team is most like that 2018 team, except now they have all these expectations, right? Because since that 2018 season, they've been to an AFC championship game, they've won a Super Bowl, and they've been back to another Super Bowl. Yeah. So the freedom that Patrick Mahomes was playing with in 2018, he's not playing with that freedom now. He's playing with, with shackles and chains because he's got the weight of expectations on him, and so does that team. And that team is as diminished talent-wise as they have been in Mahomes' in the past 3 years.
Right, which is what I was going to say too. There, like Lamar, have they passed their time? I mean, because in the NFL, you only get so long. I mean, unless you're Tom Brady, and then you just keep going or whatever. But normally, you only get so long. Your window's only there for so long. And I know Mahomes is young, and that's why I'm asking: have they missed that time because of the other things that go on, the other people, the other talent that you have to keep, to pay, all of that stuff?
Yeah, it could be coming to an end. But their defense always been suspect, and it's finally catching up to them. But the thing is, their offense is not looking good either. I think teams are taking away the big plays and making them dink and dunk down the field and making them pay for their mistakes. The thing when you play Kansas City, you got to score touchdowns, and if you force them to punt or get turnovers, you got to go down and score and put the pressure on them.
And they end up with the same record as the Broncos
and the Panthers.
Not the Eagles, for worse.
So do they turn it around in the second half?
If he stays healthy. I mean, I think they have a shot. I don't see them winning more than 9 games this year. I see them at that 9-8 mark, maybe 10-7.
Does 9 get you into the playoffs, Liam? Because I kept looking at things seeing 10.
I'm not sure if 9 gets you into the playoffs. I think 10 would, and I think 10-7 is realistic because until Patrick Mahomes proves to me that he's not going to carry this team to the playoffs, I'm going to tell you that he's going to. So I think that he will.
So they need 8 more wins. They got the Broncos twice, so that gives them 6 more wins.
They need 7 more wins to get this 10.
Yeah, they're at 3 now.
They're at 3? Okay, so there's 2 more with the Broncos. That's 5. So they only need 5 more.
2 with the Broncos and 2 with the Raiders, which could go either way, honestly. It could be 1-1.
Uh-oh. Tell them, Lamar. Are they beating the Raiders? The Raiders have been playing good, see, and the Chiefs have not.
At least we're going to beat them once. So at least give us 1. I know that.
At least 1. I agree. I agree. You could probably give those a split
in Vegas,
and
right?
Do you see them getting swept by the Chargers? Honestly,
I think it's very realistic.
Realistic.
Yeah.
They play the Cowboys. That's a game that could go either way.
Depends on which Charger team shows up.
That's a game that could go either way. They don't have an easy schedule.
Well, I'm fine with that myself. So, I hope they continue on the road that they continued on. But that's just coming from an AFC West point of view. Right, Lamar? No tears shed for them Chiefs right now, right?
No, not at all.
So you do this power ranking all the time on TikTok, which again, everybody, if you ain't checked it out, you got to check out his TikTok. Who do you got at number 1 this week?
I'm sticking with it. The Cardinals until they're knocked off. And we talked about this right before the Bills took another loss. Until they lose, they're staying up there. They've got a tough one Thursday night. We'll see. They got the Packers.
Where do you have the Ravens then?
Ravens, I have at 9. I had them drop 3 spots after they got manhandled this week.
Oh, Liam, who do you have?
My top team is also the Cardinals. I just think right now, until you see a precipitous drop off, you have to have them up there. Kyler Murray's due for a poor game. And that doesn't decide your MVP fate. But I don't know if I predict the poor game to come at home against a team without Devontae Adams. This point was made multiple times, but like, have you ever seen a 2.5 point swing because of a wide receiver? That's ridiculous. Like that is utterly absurd. Baker Mayfield being out didn't even yield as much of a point swing for the Browns as Devontae Adams did for this game. And that says a lot to me. One, and like two, I love Aaron Rodgers, so like of course I watch him all the time, and I know what it's like, what life is like for him without Devontae, and he's actually fared better than you'd think. But like usually you don't have to go into a short week on the road against an undefeated team when dealing with those circumstances. So
I think his top two are out as well, aren't they? Isn't Lazard out as well?
Lazard's out too.
So his number one is who?
And their defensive
MVS?
coordinator. So I think the Cardinals win tomorrow, and I think you have to keep them up top until they fall off. But they have assuming the Seahawks, however long Russell Wilson's out, they have a schedule that's very manageable, and they could really be looking at 15-2 or 14-3 type of season, which was just unthought of at the beginning of the year for this team. So kudos to them.
Do they beat the Bucks?
I'm not gonna pick
When
that.
it counts,
Mm-hmm.
with the mighty man behind the center.
So that's the thing. That's why power rankings are like a week by week, like
Exactly.
fluid list. Like you're not telling me, an NFC Championship game, no matter where it's played, I'm not picking Kyler Murray over Tom Brady. You're not gonna get me to do that. But right now, going into Week 8, the Cardinals have played the best football, and the Buccaneers haven't. Actually, the Cowboys have played total better football than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, and that pains me to say, but it's true.
They have,
and they lost to the Buccaneers in doing so. So take it that way you will.
Lamar, who do you have at the top of the NFL right now?
I got the Cardinals as well. They're playing good football and surprising a lot of people about how good they are. A lot of people had them picked last, thinking the 49ers and stuff was going to be up the top. But
49ers kind of fell down, huh?
Yeah, I'm happy for them. I don't like the 49ers.
It's not the Rich Bisaccia-led Raiders, Lamar.
But yeah, the Cardinals, and be interested. I was pumped to watch the game tomorrow. I'm still gonna watch it, but when I heard Adams and Lazard was on, I was like, oh man, I like seeing the top tier teams playing each other at full strength. But
Sleeper pick. Grab
and I
MVS while you
can't see
can.
Rodgers laying down it for any reason. So
Rodgers,
I imagine he's going to be firing that ball over the field tomorrow.
Yeah, they're gonna be in the game because Rodgers is Rodgers. Still gonna be a good, interesting game to watch. But I just wish Adams was playing.
Mm-hmm. But D-Hop may be out as well, is what I've heard. So both teams may be without their top receiver.
I'm excited to see my man Zach Ertz.
He's really
That's
been
exciting.
killing it, and I've been happy too because that's my tight end. So
I'm very happy for him.
I like it. Increased my productivity immensely. But look, all of this is great and everything, but man, there's one thing we have to talk about, which is way better than all of that. The guy got the 600 TD football handed to him in the stands. He hands it back, and what he got was a treasure trove of goods. Now, I want to know from you guys, because I'm sure you guys all know what he got, right? And I love it. So I'm going to say that right now. I love it. But you guys tell me, was that a trade? Was that a good trade? Did he get his worth out of that ball?
I mean, put it like this. The guy showed up to a game and walked away with all those goods. I mean, who expected that?
Well, see, that's the way I see it too. I mean, he walked in there a fan and loving what the game and having a great time, and in a blink that fast, now you're worth that kind of money. But Liam, tell me, man, did he make out?
Allow me to provide a more analytical view. I would have loved that package, honestly. Like I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yes,
But,
me too.
No. If you could prove, and like honestly, how could you not prove? It's on national TV and all that stuff.
Mhm.
If you could prove at in a pawn shop or at an auction or whatever you're doing, eBay, anything. If you could prove that you have Tom Brady's 600th touchdown ball,
Right.
given to you at that game, do you know how much money that's worth? That's worth so much more money than the 2 tickets for the next 2 years combined, and the $1,000 voucher in the team shop,
Right.
and all the cleats and the signed jerseys. That is
and a Bitcoin.
Yep.
come on.
Listen, there were 2 classic moments that went on in that whole exchange. One was Mike Evans' face. Okay, when somebody explained to him, he just handed the 600 ball. That whole. I mean, that was classic. Okay, and then the second classic event that happened was immediately they have this expert who pops on and says, "Man, he just gave away a ball that I would say is worth at least $500,000." And you're like, okay, so everybody in the Tampa Bay organization had to win because now you have to make good. I mean, you look chump. You just took. Look at everybody would have said that. Come on, you just took that guy. You just took that guy. Come on, And so they had to step up, and then, so that's why I want to know if you thought was it a good trade, because they had to step up. They had to give up some stuff, and I loved it.
Maybe Brady cut him a check or something like that, and we just don't know about it. But it's true, and it holds merit to what Tom said. Tom doesn't really hold on to a lot of mementos, so to speak. Do you guys remember the what was it? Was it the jersey?
Yes.
What was stolen from Super Bowl?
His jersey,
helmet, or his jersey, or something like that.
The Super Bowl jersey.
And that reporter stole it. And he's like, I don't really keep my Super Bowl jerseys, but I wanted that one because that was number 5, right? That was number 5. So
Number 6, yeah.
Who cares?
And so if he really wanted that ball, I kind of want to think he might have had flashbacks to that moment. He's like, I know this isn't being stolen, but I want this, and I'm Tom frickin' Brady, so I'm gonna go get it, and we'll work something out with the fan.
It was just amazing. Lamar, what did you think of the deal?
That's some pretty good stuff. But me personally, I would have got that ball and would have been gone.
Lamar's running up the stairs.
Yep, you got to track me down. I need season tickets for at least 10 years. I need Super Bowl tickets for a couple years, along with the rest of the stuff he got.
He did.
And a dinner with Giselle.
Even Brady himself said he should have held out on Monday Night Football with Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. He said,
yeah, and I thought that same thing. I thought he got a good deal, but it sounded to me like he didn't even try to negotiate. Like he just took the offers they were thrown at him and was like, okay,
keep it coming. Come on.
1 Bitcoin, Tom. I know you got a wallet. What's your digital wallet say, Tom? There's more than one of those in there, I bet you.
It's at 58,000 right now as 1 Bitcoin. So
yeah, that's okay. I know Tom's got a few of those coins though in his wallet. You could have kick me a couple of those for that $500,000 ball, which we all now know what it was worth. Which I just wish they could have panned over to the Tampa Bay fucking box, so we could have saw their faces like, oh God, damn it. Now we are caught. But that was great anyway. I thought that was a great moment. The whole ball thing and such. So guys,
the moment between Tom and the little boy with cancer was also very awesome.
That was nice. He went over there, gave him what did he give him? The ball? Did he give him
I think it was his cleats, right?
His cleats, yeah.
Is that what he did?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. I saw the sign. I saw the tweet. The whole thing that he did. I thought Tom's a good guy, though. He takes a lot of crap.
I think it was his hat, actually. I think he took his hat off and put it on his head.
Yeah, Tom's a good guy, though.
Baseball score update: 4-1 Astros. Bottom of the second.
4-1. I want to switch to that for just 1 second because we got Lamar, who is our baseball guy, member of the old Baseball Writers Association, and all. Lamar, what's up with the World Series, man?
Yeah, Braves got off to a good start yesterday. Astros look like they're trying to even up the series. Everybody don't like the Astros because they cheated and all that, which is right. I don't like them either, but I got a Giants fan. I love to see Dusty Baker win a World Series.
How many of those guys were on that team, though, even?
Yeah, shoot.
Well, they got like 6 or something like that.
About over a handful of guys that was on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to. But they want to. Them guys want to win, so they can say, "Okay, we did it the right way." So now, what y'all going to say?
Yeah, no kidding. But it seems to me like every time you turn around, everybody's already making plans for the Braves to win. So is this over?
No,
it's not over.
That's how all series go. You know how it go. Basketball, baseball, whoever win the first game, it's over. Can they sweep?
Right.
Well, sometimes in basketball. Sometimes in basketball, it's over.
Basketball is one sport where I would say it's over pretty early. As someone who watched very closely the Cubs World Series, I know that it can come down to a single at bat. So
who is playing? I mean, are the Braves not playing the best ball though out of the two right now?
I wouldn't say that. I don't know.
I mean, it's 4-1 Astros right now, and then it's a best of 5, right? So
best of 7.
7. Yeah.
Well, after it's 1-1 tie, it's a best of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do math on us, man, like that, man. We're not here for
that Philly math, man.
Yeah, good God, man. It's like late. Oh, my bad, Lamar. What is it, like 5 o'clock where you're at or something?
5:56.
You didn't even eat dinner yet.
Meanwhile, I'm going to bed in an hour. Lamar.
I know, right? You didn't even eat dinner yet. God. So Lamar, real quick too. You got your Lakers shirt on, and I know you're a big Lakers man. What's going on in LA, man? Is that going to work?
Still time will tell.
I mean,
I'm not going to overreact over what 4 or 5 games like everybody else doing. Like, come on, man. These guys just only played like 1 game in preseason.
But the thing is like when you watch it though, and I'm not a fan, so I'm not going to try to digest the Lakers and all, but I've watched Russell for many years and enough years to know that Russell's doing his thing again, and he's never going to change. And pretty soon, that's going to rub LeBron the wrong way. Just the way that he, I don't even know how. Sometimes the overreactions, the way that he kind of gets into the game. You have to appreciate that, and I'm sure LeBron has said it many times that he appreciates the way that Russell plays, but that's not going to play well with him the whole time, And I don't see Russ saying, I'll back down to him,
Well, my problem with Russell Westbrook so far this season is he being too passive when LeBron's on the court. Like, man, you gotta pick and choose your spots. Like, man, you gotta find a way to be himself and as well as be a team player. Because, like, when LeBron's out the game on the bench, that's when it's his time. That's going to be his time to take over and get his points right then and there. You just got to figure out the happy medium. But, like, these last 2 games, LeBron been out and Westbrook been going off, which is a bad thing and a good thing. Now LeBron can actually take rest now and not have to worry about losing. Every time LeBron out, the Lakers always lose. But, I mean, it's still early, man. We got 2-3 more months before we can figure this out. I'm just not going to be like ESPN and FS1 and overreacting to 1 or 2 games, dude. Let it play out. All these big threes take time. The Heat took time. They came together. They take time.
So how much time is it going to take for the Nets? Because that's just getting worse and worse to me. I mean, now you have the protesters on the outside of the building, right? Now you got that confrontations that go on every time they come in. They had to close the arena down. You had the management itself come out and say, we will not make a move unless we have the talk to Kevin Durant, talk to James Harden. We're going to go 2 days later. Kyrie, you're not welcome back. No matter what, you either get the shot or you can't play. And then now yesterday, you see KD on there. Well, we really do need Kyrie to play. And he's, wait a minute, you, from the order of events, you're the one who stated you didn't want him to come. Because by the old management's laying out of their thingy, you guys were consulted before they said you're not coming. So that means you guys must have made that call. And now you're on the TV talking about, we really need him. This is all where there's, to me, that's just too much confusion in the organization. Anybody? Liam?
I'm gonna push back on that. I don't think that that's disagreement within the organization. I think that that's the organization making a decision for Kyrie to step away. I think that that's the Nets organization making a decision that's going to be conducive to team success as long as he's out. And I think Kevin Durant's statements are true as far as, Kevin Durant's been on championship basketball teams. He knows what it takes. And he knows the teams that he's up against.
Yeah, but if you wanted him there, why didn't you say, yes, we want you there? We'll take you half time.
Because that's just because again, like
that's playing with chemistry.
Just exactly, like just for make it personal to you, Paul. Michael Porter Jr. He's a little sometimes out there with his way of thinking. And what if he was in the same boat as Kyrie and Denver was one of those cities with that mandate? I don't think Jokic or a healthy Jamal Murray or you or your fan base would want Michael Porter Jr. there half the time, no matter how good he is. Like, what does that serve you? And then he can only play half your playoff games only on the road. That doesn't help your team at all. Then you're basically trying to play basketball with two different teams. A team without Michael Porter and a team with Michael Porter, and that's too much to balance. If we're being quite frank, this is the same situation with the Sixers. I had
to go there too. So
should Ben stay away?
Right.
Should Ben stay away? Like at this current moment, while he's trying to get his mentals right and all that stuff. I know he's still showing up to the facility, but sure. But Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris and Doc Rivers, they're not wrong when they say that they need Ben Simmons to play, because we do. We still need to win games before, while we're looking to trade him. And Ben is obviously going to help you win games no matter his flaws.
I don't see, that's where I have to combat, because I don't see you winning games with a guy who has no interest in winning those games. If he would go out there, if you could assure yourself that when he hit that floor for the Sixers, he was going to play up to his ability every night, no matter what that is. It might be bad shooting threes. It might be getting, great defense, whatever it is. He plays to his abilities each night, then yes, that is well worth it. And you better believe it. And they can win with that. But he's not going to go out there and play with that. Do you really
think Ben Simmons is gonna really take that personal PR or that reputational hit and allow?
I think we've seen it over and over.
On James to take that hit too, because anything that Ben does in relation to his contract is also on Rich Paul's head and hands, which inadvertently goes back to LeBron. I don't think Ben Simmons is going to put his reputation and then therefore their reputation on the line just to force his way out like James Harden and dog it on the court. This is a completely different circumstance. And when Ben Simmons is ready to come back, I do think he'll play the way Ben Simmons has always played, which from day one is 16-8-8. So I think that he'll give you that. And when he's traded, he's traded.
What you think, Lamar?
I'm just about over the whole Sixers and Ben Simmons thing. This dude don't want to play.
About it.
I'm like, come on, dude. All of a sudden you got mental problems now. I mean, I'm not buying it on. I mean, not talking bad on by with real mental health issues and stuff like that, but I'm not buying it, dude.
Real mental health issues.
You just throwing a a fit because you ain't traded and you don't want to play.
He's pulling a Kyrie, but I mean a Kawhi, only without the skill of Kawhi to pull it off.
And if he do step in the court, he's gonna get that James Harden Rockets effort before he got traded to the Nets.
Yeah, that 200.
I'm telling you, that's not going to happen.
Man, that dude don't want to play for the Sixers. And
I agree, but there's still a level of professionalism you have to hold yourself to.
What's gonna happen is Morey gonna keep on trying to hang on to him. The owner gonna come down and say, "Get him out of here, dude." The owner gonna get involved and he gonna get traded.
No, our owner, Lamar, our owner's a little snake. His name's Josh Harris. He's a little scumbag. And let me tell you, he is all for Daryl Morey right now. He's all in on what Daryl Morey's doing. He's not getting involved at all. I'm telling you, once Ben hits the court, he's going to give you what he's always given you, and then he's going to get his ass out of town.
Because I was watching something today. It said also Embiid and them will start getting mad, like, "Hey, trade him so we get somebody in there that can help us win." Because if he ain't gonna be on these mental breaks or wherever he's on right now, dude,
we'll cross that bridge with Embiid if we get there. But for right now, I truly believe that he'll give his effort when he steps on the court. If he steps on the court, I guess you never know. The Blazers are off to a bad start, just like I thought.
The Blazers are off to a bad start. Why do you think they're off to a bad start, though? I mean, why do you think it is that way?
Chauncey Billups was brought in to help resurrect the defense, right? Yeah. I don't see any of that. I know Dame's shooting woes will eventually come around. He's had a rough start to the season, but at the same time, Terry Stotts he wasn't as good as Mike D'Antoni. But Terry Stotts was a very good offensive mind that had the Blazers ranked at the top of the league's offensive, or the top offenses in the league, pretty much on a consistent basis every year. It was their defense that always lagged. So now if their offense is going to be worse in the hands of a different coach and scheme, but their defense also isn't going to be better like it was supposed to, then they're just going to be a worse team with, talent that really wasn't brought in. Dame was like, I'm tired of losing in the first round. Oh, okay. Let's supplement that with Cody Zeller and Tony Snell. Are you kidding me? So,
and he says that he's happy though. That's the crazy part. Is you can't tell because he's so good though with that. He's not that one though. He goes, yeah, it's all good. He's not that kind of guy. He tells you, yeah, no, I'm fine and this is great. I love Chauncey Billups. So you don't even know. I mean, really behind it, he might be like, but.
Right, but he's always been fine in Portland, and you know who Dame is. You know what the situation is comparable to? Another man in the Pacific Northwest, the superstar of his own team. That guy's Russell Wilson, okay? And he could say "Go Hawks" all he wants, and then he could drop a list of 4 teams that he would like to be traded to, 2 of which have franchise quarterbacks. That is no that is no coincidence. You know what I'm saying? So that go Blazers. I'm happy in Portland. Go Hawks. I'm here for Washington State. I'm here for Seattle. Meanwhile, I said, I think Russell Wilson's going to be the next quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. All good by me. But and maybe Dame's the next point guard of the Philadelphia 76ers. This Pacific Northwest thing it's perfect.
Philly Northwest trade shit is just flowing now.
Yeah, this is just a manifestation circle. But I'm telling you, no matter what is said to the outside, Damian Lillard's not that kind of guy to outwardly voice his frustrations, and he did last offseason. Russell Wilson's not the kind of guy to outwardly voice his frustrations, and he did last offseason. So, once the pot's boiling, the Seahawks are not good right now. And I know Russ is out, but I know Russ is getting tired of Pete Carroll, and Dame's getting tired of losing. So the more that they keep on losing, the better it is for the city of Philadelphia. But also, the closer it is to pushing them out of town.
You want to know something funny too? Is I've been thinking the same thing, and I've been thinking, everybody's been looking at Urban Meyer for that USC or whatever. But how about what's the Seattle coach that you just said?
Carroll.
Yeah, how about Carroll going back to USC? Because his time's got to be about running up in Seattle. You got to be right there. I mean,
oh man. Could you imagine? Did you guys all see Tomlin's press conference? Could you imagine if Tomlin had dropped instead of Andy Reid and and Sean Payton, he had said Pete Carroll, because that's the same boat. One-time Super Bowl champion winner and a very successful white head coach, but he already coached at USC. I didn't even think about that, Paul.
Right.
Oh my God, I wish he had said Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't see Pete Carroll wanting to opt into a year-round job that is the college head coach. And yes,
Right.
being an NFL head coach is a year-round job too. But like college coaches have to recruit all year while also coaching a football team during the season. It's not easy. It's much more of a young man's job, or that very able old man who just can't give it up. So no, I think that Pete Carroll is an NFL coach until he retires.
Okay. So one last thing before we get to our final words. I just want to know, is there a game you're watching this weekend? Liam?
I'm watching Thursday,
Go ahead.
100%.
The Thursday night matchup?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely watching Packers and the Cardinals. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I've got some sleeper picks in that game. I mean, I think Valdez-Scantling and who's their other wide receiver? Equinemius St. Brown. It's a name drop.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
There you go. Are you giving those sleepers for tomorrow night right there? Huh? Are we getting give your sleeper?
I'll lean more towards MVS on that one, and Robert Tonyan as well. He's going to rely on his tight end a lot tomorrow, I think. So,
you know,
I think they win? No, but I think the Cardinals still pull it out. But Aaron Rodgers will make it a game because he is a true quarterback.
It should be a good game either which way. Liam, any game you watching?
Yeah, so I'm watching. I'm watching two games. One is pretty exciting, and one's not as exciting. I'm looking forward to that Sunday night game between Dallas and Minnesota, because I think Minnesota is a couple ball bounces away from being a pretty good team record-wise. And you know that there's teams every year that don't play normal games, that sometimes the ball bounces their way and sometimes it doesn't. The Chargers lose 7 games in a year by 1 possession or less. That evens out over time. And it just seemed to be one of those starts of the season for Minnesota. But they're at home, and I think that they're healthy now. And both teams, I'm pretty sure, are coming off a bye, right? Minnesota didn't play last week. So both teams are coming off a bye. It's a primetime game. We all know the adage on primetime Kirk. So I'm looking forward to that game because I think it'll be really good. But I also want to see how real the Cowboys are, because they haven't really had a true test since week 1 versus the Buccaneers. No matter how good they've looked, they've answered the bell to every team so far. But the Chargers didn't test them like I thought they would. So this is their best matchup since week 1, I think. And I'm actually also looking forward to, my Philadelphia Eagles game. We're 2-5. We're facing an 0-7 Lions team. I'm putting this out there. I think the Lions get their first win at my Eagles' expense this weekend. I don't necessarily know how it comes, but I think that, the Sirianni, my head coach, the Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon, my defensive coordinator, the buzz and, the ringing for them in this city is getting louder. And the ringing for our GM, Howie Roseman, has been loud for a while, but he's tied at the hip with our owner. Our owner can't like what they've been seeing with this coach that they hired. And they hired this guy because he was going to be an agreeable, not push back on them kind of dude. But you still want to perform on the football field, right? Because you don't want to look like imbeciles. So a loss to the Lions would really certify the state of this football team. And I'm interested to see how they respond to that, because I think Jalen Hurts knows that he has about 10 games left before his fate's decided as an NFL starter or not. Wow. And that starts this week with what should be the easiest game on your schedule, a game that I think we're going to lose. So that's why I'm interested.
I'm gonna have to go back and change that pick. I have Philadelphia, but that's a compelling case to go against them.
I don't.
That was a great case to go against Philadelphia this week. Thank you, Liam. Lamar, is there a game you're looking forward to?
I'm gonna check out New England and the Chargers. I think it should be an interesting game. Chargers probably will win, but I like the way last couple of weeks I've been watching Mac Jones and look like he's starting to take his game to the next level. So I want to see how they play against the Chargers. Should be an interesting game on Sunday.
He saved me in another league of mine, actually. Those leagues that you don't have to change your lineup? It does it for you. You just
Yeah.
draft a ton of players and then it does it all for you, you know?
That's convenient.
Yeah, no, you get to pick the players, but any one of those players that come in, so say you have 2 or 3 quarterbacks, whichever of your quarterbacks gets the most points, that's the one that goes into your starting lineup, and it does it
Oh,
to you
wow.
automatically. So, but we had like 17 rounds of drafting, so like you have a good list of players, but it all goes, and you don't get to touch it though. You don't get to put nobody in. You got who you got. You don't even get to do free agents and stuff. It's just kind of thing. But he saved me in that one because he's one of my quarterbacks. So when he steps up like that, it does real good for me. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if Denver could actually win a game, and I think they can actually beat Washington. But of course, that's probably just me betting with my heart or thinking with my heart. And
One of my sleepers is in that game, Paul.
who's that?
Jerry Jeudy comes back.
Oh yeah. They need that though. Like they severely need him, and they need him to turn into what we thought he was going to be at the beginning of this season again. Okay, because we knew he was going to be something last season, and he did what he did. But this year we had really, really high expectations. He is one hell of a hype man for himself. So when you watch that off-season stuff of him, you start going, "Oh my God, this guy's going to be the best receiver in the NFL," because he's a great hype man. So you were looking for more. So I hope he comes back, and I hope he does something. So that's what I'm doing. Let's do our final thoughts, guys. It was a great show once again, but we can't leave until we do our final thoughts. Lamar, you got any final thoughts for us?
Yeah, I think it was a good move of the NBA pulling off the games at TNT on Thursday nights while football season's going on, moving to Tuesdays.
I wanted to say that too.
Definitely hurting having basketball on Thursday nights, definitely hurting the ratings. So Tuesday night ain't much on, so I think that was a smart move. And they come back Thursday nights back in January. I think that's really smart on the NBA to do that.
Yeah, I think if you're the NBA, you're sitting there. The NFL, you're sitting there going,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know who's boss. Get that shit
Yeah.
off the Thursday nights, all right? That was your bad. You should have done that to begin with. But yeah, that was an interesting move. I couldn't believe that it was that big of a decrease.
Well, people love football, man.
Yeah, it showed you right there. Football's still king, no matter how bad you, no matter how much people like me try to keep it alive. Heath, you got any final words for us?
I'll start off that Carolina sports have started strong in sports other than football. Hornets are 3-1. I think the Hurricanes are 4-0, and they're saying it's one of the top 2 teams in hockey at the moment.
They both look good.
They both look good. And then the Bills should have an easy road the next 3 games. They got 3 teams that have a combined record of 3-16. So they got 3 wins coming up. Count on them.
Mark that down for the next 3 weeks. Liam, what you got for us?
I got 2 things. First, Ja. He's been awesome so far. But second, we got 2 UFC pay-per-views coming up on back-to-back weekends, which is like the first time ever. And well, maybe not the first time ever, but like the first time that I can remember since being a fan. And I'm insanely excited for it. We got a light heavyweight championship fight. We got an interim bantamweight championship fight this weekend. And then the following weekend, we got a women's, oh my gosh, I can't remember the weight division. I want to say strawweight. And then we have a huge rematch between Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, the second of their fights. The first of their fights was one of the best title fights you'll ever see. It was tied 2-2 going into round 5 and a late round 5 victory by Usman. And, Colby Covington's one of those polarizing figures. He's very outwardly, deep-righted, politically rooted. He really likes to, rile people up. And he had a fight in Brazil and gets on the microphone and calls the fans in the arena a dump. He likes to get under people's skin. No matter if you like him or hate him, that's why you buy his fights. You either want to see him win or you want to see him get his ass kicked. That's the fun of Colby Covington. It's going to be a huge fight. It's just 2 Saturdays away, but we got a lot of good UFC coming up, and I'm really excited for it.
When are we going to go to Vegas and catch one of those? Because we haven't even got to use our passes, man.
Yeah, I applied for the one in New York coming up in not this Saturday but the following. But they said due to limited space, like for COVID and stuff, they're only really letting more accredited journalists in. So I tried, but we'll get in one time, Paul. We'll get in one.
Yeah. Well, we go to Vegas and do it anyway, right? So for me, my last word is going to be a little basketball fantasy for you guys. All right. There are a couple of players on the Magic right now who you can fill in as your sleepers for fantasy basketball. If you're playing fantasy basketball, Cole Anthony and Terrence Ross are both lighting it up right now. And if you have them on your bench, I don't know if you guys know anything about the fantasy basketball, but you could substitute them in daily, right? So anybody who's playing on your thingy, you can substitute them each day. And these are guys that if you have on your bench, they will give you, right now, Cole Anthony's averaging you 35, 36 fantasy points a game. And that's enough that you want on your bench right there. And Terrence, for some reason, is on fire. So he can also help you out right there. So for me, those are sleepers out there in the fantasy world for basketball. They're on the Magic right now, and they're the only thing happening with the Magic right now. But there's your sleepers for the NBA fantasy for those of you who play. So, guys, thank you so much for coming once again. We do still have somebody hanging on. We're just trying to get a date where we all can meet him together. He still says he's excited to come on, and we can test him on all his historical knowledge. So you guys want to just let me know a good time, we can set that up anytime but Wednesdays. What day is this? Okay, but yeah, anytime but Wednesdays. So we can set that up anytime, man. We'll be able to get that on. Anything else though, guys, catch us out, theeverydayfan.com. You can get more NFL fantasy sleepers from Heath. Check him out on TikTok. He'll be laying it down for you. Liam's everywhere. Trust me, I see them tweets pop up everywhere. You can find Liam there, everydayfan.com. Lamar's watching that baseball. He's going to stay up with it for us. He's going to let us all know who that is. Lamar, keep in touch. And guys, thanks for coming. And we'll see you again.